without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor, absolute honor, to launch today's session on how to own your power. Women Empowered Global. We are a global company and we have presence in 20 countries, and we work with amazing business leaders and global influencers from around the world to design knowledge tools and leadership accelerator programs for individuals to accelerate their leadership goals more effectively and efficiently. And today is a forum that we conduct once a month on our Global Academy, and we're so honored to have Nicole. So without further ado, let me introduce Nicole Brandes to you, ladies and gentlemen. Nicole Brandes is an international management coach. She's an author, partner of the Future Institute. Nicole has been working with some of the world's most powerful and influential people as a manager. She even worked for Queen Sylvia of Sweden at Swiss plane accident in Halifax, the biggest research accident in aviation history. Nicole led the care team on site. Nicole studied communication and existential leadership. She holds an MBA in strategic management, and always curious, she has been studying Taoism with Chinese grandmasters for 8 years. Today, she is considered as a leading thinker for future and works with leaders on inner strength and outer turbulence. Nicole is also a global partner in the Women Empowered Global Network, which is a worldwide network for leading women who are making a difference at a global level. And we have also had the pleasure of interviewing Nicole on our Global Influencer podcast series, which will be coming out very soon. And something that stands out for me about Nicole and what I admire in her so much is that she believes that people make real transformation and change only when they are truly inspired, not forced. And today's theme is how to own your power. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to bring Nicole Brandes on Spotlight. And she's going to come online right now. Nicole, a very, very warm welcome to you. We're so excited to have you join us.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me, Senela?
I can hear you. Can everybody hear Nicole? Is she loud and clear? Can you please indicate to me and confirm on the chat box or raise your hand? Can everybody hear her? Ruth can hear her, okay. Nicole, I'm trying to see your screen so I can make you the spotlight speaker. There we go. Okay. Nicole, over to you. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you very much, Senela. Thank you very much for the beautiful introduction. Well, this is not about me. It's about all the women out there who unfortunately have not yet logged in, apparently, but you're gonna record that, and afterwards you can launch it, right? Okay, good. Well, thank you very much for the welcome, Senela. It's an honor for me to be here and to be with your show. You know, you're doing so much important work, and we need so many more women doing that. So I'm happy to be here today. And Senela asked me to share some of the insights I had on my career or in my path. And for the past 20 years, I have been spending my life in an incredible, intriguing environment, but also in a very highly competitive, dominated world where I was usually the only woman in the room. So I'm delighted to share with you ladies, and I see we have some gentlemen, some of my experiences, but also some of my hopes, some of my dreams, which I have not only for myself, but which I have for you and actually for all of us. I truly believe that each and everyone has tremendous gifts and valuable beauty to share, but mostly we are not aware of them. And it's something I experience usually in my coaching, in my daily work. So I'm here today to remind you of your beauty and the amazing power you have beyond your education, beyond your expertise, and beyond your experience. I want to encourage you to use your power to be a positive driving force. And if you don't want to be that in the entire world, which you actually can, to be it in somebody's world, and especially to be it in your world. And if you have doubts, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to doubt only one thing, and that is your limits, because you are so much more than what you think you can be. So you see, I come from a broken and a poor family, and yet I had the opportunity to work with some of the most successful leaders on the planet. And if I can be successful, you can be successful too. I don't have any special gifts, nor do I have a magic wand, but I always had a hunger for life and the belief that life is big. And on my journey, already as a youngster, I discovered 3 basic things I want to share with you. Here is the first one. The first one is own your power. The environment I come from was pretty rough. We didn't have any money. My real father was not around, and I was constantly in fight with my stepfather until he kicked me out of the house. So I made my homework in the waiting room of the train station because it was the only place I didn't have to pay or I had to fight. I was a young woman and I felt treated unfair. I was hurt. I was frustrated. And I was very, very angry. So I blamed everything and everybody. I did exactly what many do when we feel emotionally overwhelmed. We usually blame 3 things: circumstances, somebody else, or yourself. And that doesn't help either, because the only thing you do is beating yourself up. And it was exactly what I was doing. So I was stuck in the blame game, but then suddenly something happened. I was always a big reader, and one day I came across a sentence which I read in a book. I don't even remember the title of the book, but the sentence said, whom you blame, whom you give the blame, you give the power. And I remember I sat at my little kitchen table drinking a cup of rosehip tea, and I went, wow. It was such a big wow that I decided, enough. I never, ever want to be a victim anymore. I did not want to give away my power anymore. I wanted to own it. So how do you do that? Well, you decide. You take a conscious, serious decision to stop the blame game and be the CEO of your own life, and stick to that decision, consequently but nicely. So stop beating yourself up when you feel in such a situation. No more negative talk, because the way you speak is a reflection of how you think, and it makes a whole lot of difference if you change that. Taking that decision and committing to that, it changed my life, and it became my life vocation, accompanying people to be the captain of their own life. Because I firmly believe if you own your power, you create the base for a happy, self-confident, free life. So my first wish to you is own your power. And here is my second wish for you: level up. I left university without a degree because I felt totally like an alien from a faraway galaxy who was totally out of space. I then spent several years with underpaid jobs till I decided to turn the chapter and shift from making a poor living to making a good life. And I applied boldly for a new job. Not just a job, but a job right in the echelons of power. A job which was at the top of a multinational corporation with 77,000 employees. A job in a company which was one of the top brands of the world. Did I have the academic degree usually necessary for such a job? No. Did I have the business acumen for necessary qualifications? No. Did I have anybody supporting me? No. Did I get the job? Yes. Overnight, I became the delegate of the top management of Swissair, and it was the beginning of a steep career, which took me to the centers of power in different companies, working with some of the world's most influential people for the next 2 decades. And you know, this might sound as if the opportunity was presented on a silver tray, and maybe so. But one thing I learned, with opportunity comes hard work. And you all have opportunities, no matter what. And it meant that I had to learn constantly how to advance and fast. It meant I had to constantly figure out how to perform and deliver. And it meant to constantly level up your topic, your skills, becoming better in dealing with people, politics, and power. And isn't that something you also experience? And it also meant how to deal with your own frustrations, with your setbacks, and with your feeling against having to fight against all odds. And you know, my name is Nicole, but because my mom called me after such a nice baby she once knew, but I didn't have the least in common with that bundle of diapers. My mother should have called me Hagar the fighter. Would have been much more appropriate, because during all this time, I had no allies, no friends, nobody to help me, and just certainly the winds against me of the naysayers who wanted to see me fail. But you know what? Despite often feeling discouraged, disheartened, lonely, and sometimes crying even tears of anger, I always told myself, giving up is no option. During this time, I studied, as you said, Senela, strategic management. I did my post-diploma in communication. I finished a degree in intercultural people skills, etc., etc. I don't want to go on with that. But what most important is that it's not about making an impression on anybody with a degree, but it's about the willingness to constantly level up emotionally, but also with that what you love doing. If you want progress, you need to be able to have the willingness to level up, including taking the struggles. Struggling is part of it. Struggling makes you grow. Struggling unleashes unknown powers in you. And you are so much stronger than you think you are. People tell me all the time, you know, I want to do better, Nicole. I want to reach for higher. I want to have a better career. I want to have a better relationship. I want to have a better body. I want to have a better life. But when it comes down to paying the price, to doing what you need to do, many people are not willing to pay the price. So evaluate exactly where you need to level up in order to progress in your life. And then seek out the best insights, strategies, and tools in these areas, and never give up when you struggle. So my second wish for you is level up. And here is my third and last one for you: shape your future. Remember the story of Alice in Wonderland? When Alice meets the white rabbit, the rabbit asks her, Alice, where are you going? And Alice says, I don't know. And the rabbit says, well, then it really doesn't matter. This is a fairy tale, but it's what happens with most people in reality. It happens in your life and it happens in my life. We don't constantly think about where you want to go. But you know what? If you don't know where you're going, this is exactly where you're going to end up. Nowhere. So last week I worked with a young, very smart, capable CEO. And I asked him, what do you want in life? Where do you want to go? And he gave me the goal of the company. He gave me a number. He gave me a figure for profit. But that's not a vision. That's a goal. And you see, most of the people only know vaguely where they want to go or what they want to reach. If you want to have happiness, joy, freedom, peace of mind, and fulfillment, you need to be inspired, as you said, Senela. You need to have a vision, a dream, and that goes far beyond a little goal and a goal which you know how to achieve. So, do you have a dream? A vision that is compelling enough for you to make you tingle? Does it set you on fire to get out of bed and work passionately towards it? Does it energize you and make you want to really take massive action? Does it inspire you so that it lifts you also up in the darkest hour? What is life without inspiration? It's dead. Inspiration means to be in spirit, to be connected with what you really believe in life and what you dream of. It awakens your wild determination to get from where you are right at this moment to where you want to be in the future. Every champion has a dream. The dream gives you meaning. The dream gives you the power, and that is bigger than your biggest challenges you face on your journey. The dream is where your real power comes from. And when you have the courage to act on it, it shapes your future. So if you want your future not just to happen, you need to have clarity, crystal clear clarity on what kind of future you want to have. This means a precise, vivid, and compelling dream. Only then you can shape your future. So my third wish for you is have a dream so that you can shape the future. And of course, all this is easier said than done. And of course, it doesn't happen overnight. But that should not let you stop you. You know, my mom died nearly exactly 1 year ago. And I accompanied her intensely and closely in the last months and weeks. And I have never been closer to life and its meaning than during this time. It made me understood so many things. And some of them were exactly those 3 wishes I have for you to move towards a greater future and a better life. And it's don't waste your power. Own it. Never stop growing. So level up. Don't think your future is someday. It's now. So shape it. And for that, you need a dream. Thank you. So that's Senela, what I have prepared for you.
Thank you, Nicole. That's powerful. I was inspired and I did take some notes, and I know the audience is so eager. Just to tell you, we have the sisters from Africa who have joined as well. So I'm so excited about this. So Nicole, my first question to you is this. What is power? What is the definition of power? How should one view power?
Well, power is not bound to a position or to a title. Power is something which is an energy flowing inside of you, wanting to come out and wanting to be expressed in yourself. So it's something inside and it's not something outside. To be in power, you know, to have a position of power doesn't mean you are standing in power. It means really when you are one with yourself and you feel unbeatable.
That's a very powerful thought just in itself. Um, my next question is, you mentioned, Nicole, to us that power is also taking decisions and listening to your inner voice. It's also a decision to look for that. How can one do that?
Well, as you said, the first thing is that you take a decision that you want to take ownership of your life. For that, we have to make a very important shift, not to seek outside, not to let the forces of the outer world determine who you are, what you want to do, and determine what you should create. But to make the shift inside, from outside to inside, you have to put yourself into a position where you tap into your inner power, where you decide, okay, it's about me, it's about my inside world, and it's not about the outside world. When you make the shift from the outside world into the inside world, it's only then when you can tap into your own resources and then listen to your own voice, what you want to do. And for that, you have to take this decision and take ownership.
Nicole, I love how you broke it in three parts. Number one, you said, own your power. And the second one you told us was level up. And the third one was shape your future. So now that you've guided us on what power could really mean, moving on to the next one where you said it spoke about leveling up. My question is, how you also shared how one can level up. You said something that really stood out for me. You said you went from poor living to a good life. How did you have that mindset? What can we learn from that? What was that thought process like?
Yeah, well, I suffered very hard, and life is always about struggling, and it there is a lot of pain with struggling, but it's your decision whether you want to suffer, right? So it's a decision. It's a decision. So I took this decision no more. And the first is really the shift from outside to inside. But then, we have a certain way of thinking, and we have to change that thinking. We have to gain a same way of thinking, like, for instance, top athletes have it. If top athletes, they train, they have the muscles, they get fit. If you think of Roger Federer, he's top fit in his body. He also levels up with his understanding how to make his backhand work, for instance. But if he doesn't have the mindset, if he doesn't see himself standing on that standing there holding the gold medal, he doesn't even have to play. So the second shift is, beside the first shift, moving from the outside world into the inside world, is really having a change in your mind shift, not just rational thinking, work hard and then things are going to work out. No, it's the shift from rational thinking to tapping into your subconscious mind where your potential is, and really think everything is possible. The possibility and the opportunity is there for everybody, no matter on which continent you live, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, it doesn't matter. Opportunity is there. And if you shift your mind that everything is possible, everything is possible. And you saw it was working for me. If it's working for me, it's working for you as well.
Thank you, Nicole. You said something, another powerful nugget. You said so many things, Nicole. Again, another one just really popped out. Struggling makes you grow, you said. And I thought that was very powerful, and I wanted to frame that. Can you explain that a little bit more? It sounds to me almost like it's your view and how you look at the struggle that really determines the results. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you said?
Well, yeah, we are wired like that we want to go for stability and certainty, right? I mean, the most basic need is certainty. because everything else is a risk, right? We want to have certainty. We want to have variety. We also want to have a little bit of variety so that life is not boring, but not too much so that it's not risky, right? But you know, we can't grow when we are constantly in our comfort zone, and we are all living creatures, and if we don't grow, we die, you know. And so growth only happens when we struggle. It's actually one colleague of mine is here, it's Marcus, and he said it beautifully. He said, you know, life starts at the end of the comfort zone. And I want to sign that, because only then we start to strive really, or to bring out more power or more talent or more of us into that world. And we don't do that if we are not forced to. You know, you have to life force out of the comfort zone. And what is life about is about self-expression. And if you don't struggle, you will not discover what else is within you. And there is so much more within you than you just believe right at this moment. Believe me, it's what I experience in my daily work with working with people.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get into the Q&A and open the Q&A to each and every one of you. Nicole, I've been getting so many questions already. People are asking me, so I'm not going to delay the Q&A. Let's get straight